de esas entrevistas que escribo 1 y 1000 mensajes hasta que logro que me respondan, está CROSSROADS, la película de Britney Spears, quizás la única importante que hizo en su carrera, porque después le tocó hacer otros papeles bastante menores, pero nunca más pudo tener el protagonismo que quiso como actriz. Hablé con Tamra Davis, nada más y nada menos que la directora, la que le enseñó a Britney cómo se tenía que actuar en una película de ficción, y me contó todo esto.
We now return to Mira a quien encontré with our latest interview.
So I went to Las Vegas and met Britney there. And from the moment I met her, I just fell madly in love with her. She was so funny and so creative. And I saw that she was kind of running the whole empire herself. She, in this very Southern formal way, she really was controlling everything that was going on around her. And she was enjoying herself, I don't know. And I just really, I spent the whole day with her, and she really wanted to convince me that she was really serious about acting.
A story about the dreams that drive us.
I wanted to find my mom. I know she wants to see me. She's just scared. Can I help you? It's me, Mama. Lucy.
If she wants something, she really knows how to focus on it. She's a dancer and a performer. And, anybody that went through those Disney things, like, you work hard to get there. It's not like you roll out of bed and it comes to you. Like, she understood that, that you really have to practice and rehearse and give time to this if you want to do this. And it was very personal to her. Yeah. She really wanted to control the narrative of her life of being a virgin and this, whatever. She wanted to kind of transition and do something different. So I really, so after meeting with her, I was like, yes, I would love to do this with you. I totally support who you are and what you're trying to do with yourself, and just that she was this powerful girl at that point and had an idea of really what she wanted. She was the one that hired Shonda Rhimes to write that story.
Let's go already!
Take a chance.
Hello.
Papa.
Lucy, sneaking away in the middle of the night? You're coming back now.
How was working with this, soon to become a big hit producer with Shonda Rhimes and everything that came after?
It was amazing. She's, even then she was so super smart. And she's very educated and very composed and very cerebral. And it was funny because I'm kind of not the opposite, but I'm very visual and very tactile and emotional, or just always trying to practice. I don't know, and so it was just interesting, the two of us working together. Like, if I had anything I wanted to change, I had to really prepare myself and come with the facts. And, because has a very clear idea of everything, how she sees things. So I really loved working with her. She was awesome.
I found her out with this guy. What? You can't go by yourself with some guy. So then come with me. Are you serious? Yes.
It was fantastic. I feel like making it more of a film that it wasn't just relying on her, and she could work with other actors that were really talented. Both Zoe and Taryn and even Anson they're actors, they're very, very talented. They have, you could do. And so for me, it was like putting her with really good tennis players, and that I knew that if I surrounded her by really talented actors, it would step up her game. And so that worked out really well. And I feel like also they were peers, because she wasn't dominant in that situation. She was coming into a situation where they were more equals. And it was an interesting dynamic for her, because usually whenever she's on tour and she walks into a room, she's the lead person. And there, when we would do rehearsals, it was like, you're part of this group. Like, it's an ensemble. I think that for her, it was like a perfect work summer camp where she could really, and we had an acting coach as well as myself working with her. So she really had, she just really went deep into that world and performing, and they all became really close friends. We all got very, very close because we were on location for a few months.
In this game for two, so I'm leaving you behind. Bye, bye, bye.
There's a moment in the film that you can see that chemistry working the four of them, but mainly the three girls singing "Bye Bye Bye." I want to ask you,
Oh, yeah.
how did you put that song in the movie? Tell me a story behind that.
Well, Brittany was with Justin at that time, you know, when we were filming and before. So, you know, they were very close. And, you know, at that time, they were such a couple that they were almost inseparable, you know, like even though they had such busy lives on their own, their identities were so coupled together. So we kind of did it as a kind of a fun joke, like a call out to him, but also kind of making fun of him at the same time, you know, with Anne wanting to turn it off. And so we just thought it was just fun. And
Bye bye, baby.
all that is very real. And I think the thing for myself as a director with Brittany, I realized that she, you know, it's an actor. You don't just become an actor. It takes years and years to learn your craft. It's a very, you know, it's like being a dancer. You know, you might have some natural instincts, but you don't just become a dancer in 1 year. I knew that if I could get Brittany to be who she was, then she's not acting, because when she was acting, it was fake. It takes a really good actor to act. But if you could get her to be who she really was, like if you hung out with her, of who that real person is, then I could tell whether or not that was the authentic her, and then it was real. And so my job with her was getting to really know her so that I knew what mannerisms were hers, what laugh was real, authentic, where she felt comfortable. And then I could get that person on screen. It was really trying to make it as much Brittany as possible, but also her to understand she still is playing a character, and finding that character that was easy for her to identify with. And a lot of that came from her wardrobe. I worked with a friend of mine who's a really good costume designer for it. And Brittany would put on clothes and she would laugh because it would be clothes that she would never wear. But that's what would be so, I'd be like, that's what the character wears. Like you're this girl. And I think that's where she really started to understand the difference between herself and who this girl was that she was playing. Yeah, because she'd come to work in like Britney Spears hot, you know, cut off shorts and little tops, you know, little Britney Spears outfits. And you'd be like, that's not
I have an idea.
All right, next contestants.
So put another dime in the jukebox, baby.
Oh, Madonna. Yeah. Maybe we might have asked her. Yeah. And I know, you know, Madonna was, you know, she was a huge fan of Madonna's, and so am I. And, you know, that's the thing, is like you try to put as much of what you're passionate about in your picture, and like, and an homage to her, we did that opening, you know, and was our kind of Madonna homage, even if she's not going to be the mom. And we're so happy that Kim Cattrall was the mom, because also we were such big Sex and the City fans. So to be able to, you know, refer to that was huge to us.
Open your heart to me, baby.
Lucille Wagner! We're gonna be late.
At that time, the father was not around. The father was back home and kind of running his business back home. So he had his own life and kind of was doing his own thing. The mom was around, but kind of in the way that like a stage mom is usually around, because I work so much with kids, you know. So her mom was around in the sense that like she would here and there and kind of be more like a stage mom, and they had a really pretty good relationship. And her relationship with her father, you know, you could tell even then that there was alcoholism in the family. I think that what happened, like, because I was with her for almost 2 years from the time we started making the picture, then making the picture, and then finishing the picture, and then releasing the picture to have, you know, it's like a year and a half. And tragically in that time, by the time it was all over, like first her parents broke up, and that was really devastating for her. Then when her and Justin broke up, so she had like a couple of really life events. And I think that kind of, even the fact that she could drink you know, at 20, you know, it was like public drinking was okay at that point. Like all her partying was kind of hidden, and, you know, it wasn't really out there, but when she could legally drink and stuff like that, I just feel like she kind of lost the plot a little bit. But that's not who, when I was working with her, she was very different and really was super professional, very driven, very focused.
Crossroads.
I just feel like it was a time in her life that was really special because, yeah, it's just she hadn't really had that before. And so I think that she really had incredible memories of doing something new and different and trying something out that she, you know, was kind of unusual. And making a film is such a strange world, you know, when you're on the day to day. It's a like a bizarre summer camp kind of a, it's a very strange journey, and she loved it. I think she really was like, I think now whenever she'll look back, I'm so curious of her writing a book. I think that she really looks back at that time really fondly.